What a headshot! What a head!
How's it, guys? This is Dayvy, FPL, and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now in this video, I'll be taking you through my very own transfer plan for the upcoming double Game Week 32. So the back-to-back doubles are finally here, Game Week 32 leading into double Game Week 33. The excitement is going to be there and definitely the hype. Now I don't know about you guys, but I will be using a chip in double Game Week 32 at the moment. It looks like the bench boost will be activated. But make sure that you guys just watch out for that Champions League and Europa Conference League football happening this midweek. That's why I've given myself enough time to kind of analyze those fixtures and then decide on the chip. But as mentioned, at the moment, looking to activate it for double Game Week 32. Now in this video, I'll be going over a quick review of how Game Week 31 is going. We still do have that Newcastle game coming up shortly after this video. And I have 3 players including my captain. So fingers crossed for a massive Newcastle performance against Leicester. I won't lie, I'm pretty excited. Then we're going to head on to all that double Game Week 32 goodness, the actual team selection plus my transfer plan, as with Gabriel's season-ending injury, that's put a little bit of a span in the works. So if you guys want to see how my team is looking as well as what the bench boost will be looking like, sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it. Now as mentioned, for Game Week 31 we still have one fixture tonight, that's Leicester hosting Newcastle, and I have 3 players including my captain. So at the moment it's looking pretty strong. I know you guys see red on the right hand side, 32 points only, but that's only going to be a 1k red arrow. And with 3 players, Burn, Murphy as well as Isaac captaincy, I'm pretty sure we should be on a green by the end of tonight. Now there have been some rumors of potentially Isaac starting, Isaac not. Don't worry though, just wait for that lineup before the game, as at the moment it's all rumors. If Isaac does however miss out, I think it's kind of in the ballpark of him playing from the start or missing out completely. I do have a lovely Eze 9-pointer sitting on the bench first. So what would be more kind of gain, Eze off the bench or Isaac as my captain? I'm pretty sure Isaac can get a haul tonight and that might be worth more. Hopefully Murphy assists him and also Burn keeps the clean sheet, but let's hope for a massive green arrow after tonight. In the comments down below, how's your game week currently going? As mentioned, 32 points does look pretty bad, but that's on par with the average at the moment. I just wish I started someone like an Eze for his 9-pointer, that would have been so much better, but hopefully you guys did opposite to me and started him instead of Saar. Now the rest of our bench, Gabriel as mentioned has a season-ending injury, so you got a 0-pointer. And then Neco Williams actually got an attacking return but lost the clean sheet. Verbruggen with only 1 point, but I was expecting that as I own so many Crystal Palace options. But that game was an absolute red card fest. Now when we go on to our actual starting 11, I want to give a shout out to the main man Edison between the sticks, because he's actually outperforming Raya over the last 2 game weeks. So back-to-back clean sheets for Edison. I always said he was the best goalkeeper in FPL. And especially the fact that he's outperforming someone like a Savinho and a Foden at the moment. So it might be quite close between them, but I'm just hoping that Edison stays in goal, as Man City have some great fixtures coming up. Then I was also pretty thankful for that Man City clean sheet for Guardiola, a massive 9-pointer, taking all 3 bonus points. Now I didn't actually watch the game yesterday, the Manchester derby, but apparently it was a pretty boring one. I'll definitely take boring though if it means a Man City clean sheet. Then the last option, Saliba, was hoping for maybe an Arsenal clean sheet, but this might have actually been worth more as most people own the double up. And bringing in Saliba for Gabriel might have looked like a good move on paper, but Everton had different ideas. Now I wouldn't be too mad about this one, it was only a penalty, it's not like they had some massive attacking threat. But Saliba didn't either, and that's why he only ended up on 2 points. Now you guys can probably get used to the kind of blanks because our midfield department, starting off with Mo Salah, included all of them. Let's hope Jacob Murphy doesn't get the idea. But the Salah blank was pretty unlucky. I did expect him to score one of the big chances he had against Fulham. And if you guys go watch the highlights, I think that you probably agree with me that he should have scored one. The first half was simply terrible for Liverpool, but the second half was a completely different team. And I saw enough in that second half to be pretty confident on some future returns from Salah. Same could be said about Palmer, except the fact that he didn't even start the first half, only the second half. Don't you know why he was benched? Maybe for the Conference League coming up this midweek. But all us Palmer owners were pretty happy when Saka was benched yet again, only for Palmer to have the exact same fate, and then no attacking returns in the second half. Pretty boring game from Chelsea overall, was expecting a little bit more, but the form of them and Palmer is simply atrocious. Now we get to the biggest decision of our team this week, whether to start Saul Eze. As you guys can see, I got it wrong this week. I went for the player that had the better haul in the first fixture. So if you guys don't know, Ismail Assar got 2 goals when he did face Brighton early in the season, and I was just hoping with that Brighton highline, maybe Assar got in behind them. Eze though got 2 assists plus some bonus points. Now listen, they weren't the best kind of attacking returns I've seen, but I guess there are attacking returns at the end of the day. And as mentioned, would have really loved if I started Eze over Assar. I asked this over on my deadline stream. We had a poll with all the viewers. I think it was 57% towards Assar, so hopefully there's those out of you that started Eze. I'm just hoping that Murphy also doesn't blank, as that'll be a full house in terms of my midfield department. At least one attacker scored, and that was Mateta. So the one Eze assist was for a Mateta wonder goal in the opening 5 minutes. Would have really loved it if I started both those players. But once again, Mateta gets subbed a bit early on. It seems like he's building that match fitness. I'm just hoping it comes sooner or later, as I want him to play a full 90. The best thing though was going to be Nketiah's red card for Mateta's expected minutes, as I can't really see too many other strikers on their bench. Then unfortunately Mamouche also ended up blanking, but I would have taken that for that Man City clean sheet. Quite a boring game as mentioned. Now besides the Eze benching, I do have faith in my Newcastle triple up. If Isaac starts, I'm pretty confident that he can get at least 1 goal, and hopefully that outperforms Salah by quite a far margin. So let's see where we do land. Don't worry though, in the team selection later in the week, I'll give you guys the updated rank, but at the moment it's looking pretty good. Let me know how your game week is currently going. Are you on a red or a green arrow? How many players you guys have tonight, and any other Isaac captainers out there? Now the next talking point is going to be my double game week 32 team, and you might have noticed the difference on the bench. It's going to be green colored, indicating I have a chance of activating the bench boost. Now I'll be going over my full starting 11, and then you guys can tell me what you think my bench should be. I've seen some people out there putting double game week players on the bench, and that isn't really fair. So at the moment, I do think my weakest bench is going to be Ederson, Mamouche, Neco Williams, as well as Gabriel. And that's the first big talking point, is finding a Gabriel replacement. So you guys don't have to wait too long for that. My transfer plan is basically all about Gabriel. But if I do find a good replacement for him, I do think this bench boost could come in clutch. Let's start off with Ederson. I know I do own 3 Crystal Palace attackers. I kind of maybe hope that they blank against Man City but then score in the second fixture, as I do own Guardiola at the end of the day. Now with Mamouche, I do think there's a chance of attacking returns. Crystal Palace aren't the best defense. And then also with Neco Williams, Everton at home is a pretty strong defensive fixture. Only concern is Gabriel, but we do have 2 free transfers to sort that out, and therefore I think this is going to be bench boostable. Now between the sticks, we've got Verbruggen. He has the better fixture than Ederson with Leicester at home. Do think there's a chance of a clean sheet in that one. Then our back line is probably where you guys could maybe debate. Starting Neco Williams over Guardiola could be the play. I'm just hoping that he plays not at centre back for some attacking threat. We then have our first double game week player, Dan Burn, United, Crystal Palace. There could be clean sheets there. Feels a bit bad though, owning so many players in the same fixture. Then finally Saliba, Brentford at home. This could be a clean sheet, or Mbeumo could score a penalty. If I do go for another Arsenal defender though, I hope they keep it quite tight. Now the biggest concern about game week 32 is it is in between the Champions League and European competitions. And with either side being Real Madrid, there could be some rotation in this Brentford fixture. I kind of feel though Arsenal need to put their foot on the gas still in terms of the Premier League, especially with Liverpool dropping points on the weekend. Then I'm for department, starting off with the 2 single game week players, Salah and Palmer. At least these are 2 home fixtures that are pretty great, West Ham and Ipswich respectively. So no real concerns there with only 2 teams doubling. I'm pretty fine with these single game week players. Yes, Saka could be the play, but between Real Madrid, I kind of feel like he will be rotated. Otherwise, you have our double up, Eze plus Sarr, very tough fixtures, Man City and Newcastle away. Don't you know what my expectations are here, but at least I own some attackers, not the defenders, because I can't see clean sheets in either fixture. Then finally we have Murphy, better fixtures here, United plus Crystal Palace with no European football. If he starts both fixtures, there could be an absolute haul here. And that's kind of why I'm captaining Isaac up front, the best fixtures in 32, home to United plus Crystal Palace. That's definitely Cam C material. Now if you guys still have the triple captaincy, Isaac this week is a prime option. I would probably do that if you guys still have it. Otherwise, Mateta could also be quite strong, but as mentioned, not great fixtures. Better from an attacking point of view to a defensive one though. But quite a small game week, but at least we do have our triple up from both teams. But I guess the biggest debate is who would you bench out of the squad? I think the only slight change might be starting Neco Williams over someone like a Saliba or Guardiola, but otherwise I think the bench is going to be pretty accurate. So now the question is, who do we replace Gabriel with for the bench boost? Let's go over some options. So as mentioned, my transfer plan this week literally is just about Gabriel and who to replace him with, and there are a few kind of combinations I could go for. Now with the mind of activating the bench boost in 32, I have to take him out, and the most no-brainer pick is going to be Timber. Now like I mentioned, with a play like a Saka, Real Madrid either side of 32 is a concern, and what makes this even bigger of a concern is will they start both games in double game week 33? That's kind of the only reason I would go for Timber is double game week 33, as the fixtures after that aren't too great from a defensive point of view. So will Timber start all 3 fixtures out of the next 3? That could be quite a question mark. I'm going to be optimistic though, and let's just see how the Real Madrid game does go. As long as he's not injured for that, I do feel like he might be an option for 32, but with Ben White in the wings, there is some concern there. That's the lovely thing about having that extra time for information though. Let's just see how kind of Tuesday evening does go, and then we can make our decision. If I do choose not to go for an Arsenal defender though, there are 2 teams that have good fixtures, and that's Brighton as well as Nottingham Forest. So Brighton have the better fixture, Leicester at home is pretty strong, but with Van Hecke's red card, they might be defensively weakened. That's why at the moment I'm looking at Milenkovic as my other replacement at 5.1 million. Everton at home is slightly worse, but where he makes it up is going to be double or blank game week 37. So if you guys don't know, we're going to have a blank late in the season according to the FA Cup final. Now Nottingham Forest are projected to go out against Man City, so they probably will have that 37 fixture against West Ham away. Not only that, but before that Leicester at home is pretty strong, but I need options for the blank, and that's why I do like the Nottingham Forest options. Even if they go through, they have a double game week. So with that in combination with the Van Hecke red card, I think that I might prefer Nottingham Forest slightly more, but you guys can let me know your thoughts or any other options I should be considering. Let's just see how Arsenal do perform against Real Madrid in the first leg. We could be going for Timber, otherwise it might just be safer to go for a single game week 32 player. I can always just bench them next week as I'm not bench boosting, and that's why I'm currently favoring the 32 bench boost. Any other bench boosters out there, let me know your benches in the comments down below. Don't cheat though, what's the weakest bench you actually have? Make sure that you guys do focus on that Champions League, Europa and Conference League football happening this midweek. Otherwise, good luck Isaac captainers, hopefully it's a massive dub. Otherwise, this is basically the rest of the video guys. Hope you guys did enjoy it. Please like it and subscribe if you have subscribed yet. Tons of content still coming up, so make sure those notifications are turned on. But for the time being, I'm signing off. It's me, Dayvy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers, bye.